Hi, everybody. We're live. I'm Dr. Maria Sampalis with Dr. Justin. Thank you so much for joining us today. We're going to be talking about Optometry Divas and how Dr. Justin started it. Dr. Justin, say hello. I'm sure everybody knows you.
Hi, everybody. I'm so excited to be here with you, Maria. This is going to be fun.
Yeah, it's a pleasure to have you on. If people that don't know Dr. Justin, she started Optometry Divas. Her mission was to empower, connect, and promote the success of females in optometry, and she's done a great job. She's down to earth. She's easy to talk to. Anyone that needs advice, needs a mentor, she is the person to talk to, and she's done it all. Right? She's started the CEO of You. She has her own successful practice in Orlando, 15 years. She was awarded 2019 Eye Care Business Game Changer, 2020 graduate of Goldman Sachs, small business. I mean, that's a great program, right? 2021 Thea Award of Excellence for Mentoring, which I was there, and I have to say, you moved me in your speech. You did a great job in that. And I mean, you do a lot. You do a lot in the industry, and I think you do a lot for females and having young females have someone they can reach out to and someone they can aspire to, I think is great. Thank you so much again for coming on.
Wow, thank you. I'm so excited. That means a lot for me coming from you. I have admired you for such a long time and just following you. So it means a lot to hear you
Thank
say
you.
that. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you. Thank you. But today's about you. I want to spotlight you because you do a lot of things behind the scenes, right? To help a lot of female ODs kind of move up in what they want to do. So I wanted to promote you because a lot of people that do things in the industry kind of do it for their own self gain, but you're doing it really because you really want to help female doctors. You really want to elevate them, and I think that's the reason why you started Optometry Divas. Am I right?
Yeah, it is the reason why we started. I mean, just, if you think about, if I tell you my story, so imagine being um, a mom, and which you are. I have a practice, and I have a family of three boys, and two of them are in special needs. I graduated from the New England College of Optometry, so I was in Boston for many years. Coming to Florida, I didn't really know a lot of ODs, and this is a while ago. So there weren't as many female ODs as there are now. And for me, it just felt like I was somewhat alone and isolated. I had this really overwhelming life. There was so much going on, and I felt like I didn't have anyone that I could relate to. And I looked around for maybe a group or some place where I can find that type of support that I was looking for, and I didn't find one. And I began to wonder, I wonder if there are other women like me who are just, their lives are very chaotic and there's a lot that's going on, and who's looking for someone else to connect to talk to share, right? To empower each other, to promote each other. Because I believe we do so much more. We are so much better if we're part of a village, if we're part of a group, right? If we belong somewhere, because we can help one another so much more. And that's where the idea gets started. And I did try to see if there was something like that out there, and I didn't find one. So I launched a meeting in my office way back in 2015 and asked the ladies in my community if they'd like to come. And we had all of four people that came at that time. And that's kind of how the idea grew. And I'm truly passionate about empowering, connecting, and promoting the success of women of these. Because I believe, as optometrists, if we can stand together, we can improve each other's success and the profession overall.
That's great. That's great. And what do you do to kind of fulfill that mission? How do doctors get involved in your mission? Because you got a lot of passion. I think you attract people to you that motivates people to want to do more, to do better for others.
In Optometry Divas specifically, we do three things to meet and fulfill our mission. The first thing we do is what we call a world class educational event. I believe that leaders are readers. I believe that you have to be educated in order for you to succeed. The more you know, the more you can succeed. So we are very, very passionate about educating, not just in clinical skills, which are important for us to have because we are physicians, but also in personal development, personal finance, business skills, things that can help us to develop a well-rounded type of success in our lives. When we polled some of our women who are part of our group, asking them, what do you think is the biggest challenge facing women ODs? And a lot of them said it's the idea of finding some kind of balance in my life. And really what that comes down to is me feeling like I'm in the driver's seat of my life. I believe it doesn't really matter how many activities you have in your life. If you're choosing to do them, then you know this is a choice that you're making. But when the activities are chosen for you, it kind of makes you feel overwhelmed. And I think that's where we feel like out of balance. So one of the things we do is art events. We provide educational resources. We provide CEs, lectures to help us grow and develop. We also have a community of like-minded women, people like you, Maria, and other women who are part of there. Being able to connect with people like that is so powerful. The relationships that we build will determine our success. There was that great book once that talk about 5 degrees of separation, and it talks about how your success will depend on the top 5 people that are in your circle. So connecting with the right people is extremely important. That's what our community is all about. And the third thing we do is resources. We offer resources on our website to help our members grow. And we focus a lot on developing leadership skills because we are all leaders in whatever sphere or vernacular that we are, whether it's at home, whether it's in our office, we are all leaders. And becoming a more confident leader or a more determined leader, a leader with integrity, a vibrant leader, and assertive and self-aware is what we provide our resources to do. So those are the 3 ways that we fulfill our mission. And to get involved with Optometry Divas, you just got to check out our website, optometradivas.com. You can check me out at laurettajustin.com, or you can find me on social media. I only use Lauretta Justin, so you don't have to figure out which moniker it is. It's really easy to find me and ask me about Optometry Divas. We also have a list of ambassadors, which are partners with Optometry Divas that are helping to fulfill the mission as well. So depending on your city, you can also reach out to them. So that's pretty much it. That's what we do.
No, it's great. It's great. It's great things that you do, because we don't get a lot of professional development in optometry, right? We get a lot of clinical stuff, maybe practice management, but the personal development, the CEO of you, like you are a leader. It's like, hey, I am a leader. You're right. I have this practice. I have multiple practice. I'm at the house. I'm trying to grow. I have a family and develop my kids. And you don't realize all that, and you bring that out, and surrounding yourself with like-minded people that can elevate you. So you kind of go to these conferences and say, I thought I was good at this, but you know what? I need to work a little harder because these people are elevating me. I'm like, maybe I'm not all that in a bag of chips, So, so it's good. It really elevates you. It brings you up, but it's a type of meeting that, brings you up. It doesn't kind of put you down, right? It makes you a better person to say, I need to really develop myself, do this. And I think that's great to be able to say, this doctor does all this stuff, has a practice, has a family, and does all these other things. Because you do that. You have a family, practice, you do this Optometry Divas, you're the CEO of you, and you're being recognized. I mean, and you elevate people. And I think that's amazing.
Thank you. I'll talk about the CEO of you because it kind of is at the center of everything that I do. The CEO of you is something that really came out of me trying to sort out my life because I felt my life was out of control with all that was going on. If you have 3 boys, you can imagine the stuff that you do, between therapy and sports and all of the stuff that we were doing. And I just felt like life was just spiraling for me. And I was not in control of my life. And I was reading an article about the CEO of a company, and it dawned on me, you don't have to have a specific business. You don't have to have a place where you go or a business online. You, as a person, is an organism. You are an organization, and you need a CEO for you, for your life. And that's where the idea of the CEO of you came from. I realized I need to become the CEO of my life. and begin to decide, what activities do I want to do? What do I not want to do? What's adding to my life? What's taking away from my life? Who do I need to say no to? And, just politely say, I can't do that. What do I need to cut so I can do the things that I believe I'm supposed to do? And to do that, you have to act like a CEO. So the whole concept of the CEO is really taking control of your life. And I break it down and say there are three things, there's three steps really in becoming the CEO of you. First, you have to develop the right mindset, then you need the right strategy, and then you need the right team. It's really just that simple, really, to become the CEO of you. In my opinion and in my experience, the right mindset has been the most challenging.
That's the most challenging for a lot of ODs, right? They have this fixed mindset. How do you have that growth mindset, especially when you have a lot of hurdles and you have a lot of failure, right? A lot of docs will stop and say, I can't do this. It's just too much. But I have a family, may take a break. I mean, how do you have that growth mindset?
Yeah, I love that. That's a great book, by the way. My husband is a psychotherapist, and he wrote a book called Mindset, which is where I learned a lot of my personal development stuff. But it's really, you need to identify what are your core beliefs. What are the things that you believe for your life? What are those? And I'm not speaking particularly about religious belief. I'm just talking about your worldview of life overall. What are those things? And what the good ones are? What are some of your limiting beliefs? Things that you probably believe but are not really true. It's not really real, but you do believe it. We all have those things that we believe that, but it's not really true, but it's something we learned when we were a kid and we still believe it. And then you have to identify, what are your core values? What's important for you? In my family, we identify 5 core values that's important for the Justin family. And we had to rearrange our entire life to meet those values. Like, we had to drop out of some sport activities that our kids hated anyway, just because it wasn't really fulfilling the values that we had. And once we identify what we believe, what we value, then we ask, what do we want to do? What's our mission? What's our vision? What's our purpose? Those 5 things really helped me to kind of create the framework for the mindset to help me do what I believe that I'm supposed to do. So that's what I would say. Start going inside, because the answers you're looking for, a lot of times we look outside of ourselves for answers and thinking, somebody else is going to be able to do it for you and say it to you. Really,
No, you got to find it yourself.
Inside yourself, you have the
power. A lot of your own failures, your own problem. I find that the people that are very successful take those problems and fix them themselves. The ones that kind of deflect some of those issues never really get ahead. And the other thing I want the listeners to understand here is when you were going through that mindset change and core values, you took your family with you, right? So a lot of females think, hey, it's me, and then this is separate. But you're developing your kids too, right? To do that. So it's huge. So they need to know. So this is what I say too in my house. Like we go through this together, we build together, and we always build up. And you're also teaching them how to be leaders in the future. And I'm sure that if your kids fail at something, like if they're not good at a sport, I'm sure you don't say we quit right now. You finish it off and then we stop, right? Or you give it your good try. That's what I tell mine. I'm like, you're not going to quit just because you don't feel like going. You need to finish this. And next year, if you don't like it, we don't have to do it anymore. But you got to give it 100%.
Yes. So, everybody knows the Justin core values. And then we tell them all the time, you're a Justin. And the Justin does this. A Justin never quits. We really drill that into them. So even like my 2 younger kids who are in the autism spectrum, they know I'm a Justin, and a Justin doesn't do that. And I would say you are not, as an individual, you exist by yourself, but you are not alone. You're part of a unit, and that unit is so important because it will help you succeed. It's very difficult for you to reach a certain level if your family is not with you, supporting you, being there with you. So I'd highly recommend just kind of getting everybody involved together and delegating, letting people do other things. You let your husband wash the dishes, and do not wash them afterwards.
No,
Just
let
let
him do it. He can do it. It's fine.
If it's
And
not that
you
good,
can have a glass of wine and watch him too. You can supervise, right?
exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. I had to learn how to do that. I had to learn how to kind of let it go and be like, okay, it's not exactly how I would do it, but it's okay,
Yeah.
it's all right. But it's important to bring the entire family with you, because that's what makes me feel fulfilled as a mom, as a wife, as a woman. Having that family structure and support really is important to me.
But yeah, you got the lifestyle set up, and I think it's a different way to think about it than other doctors think about it or females think about it. I think it's separate, and you bring it together, right? So we had a snow day here in Rhode Island. Hey, pack up your bags. We're going to the office, guys. And it's just how we do it. And you're doing it for them, right? You're doing it for your family. You're working. You're trying to teach them work ethic. Things like that. I think is important. So I think that's a good way to view it, and it's a family effort. I can't do a lot of stuff without support with my husband and things like that. And I just talked to an OD last week, and she was looking to take on a business, and she didn't know if she could do it. And I said, hey, just talk to your husband. It might not be the glamorous going out to dinner on Saturday night because you're working, but maybe it's going out for breakfast and just trying to figure it out. And as long as it works with your husband and your family, it doesn't have to have those strict roles. You work together as a team. That's what it's all about. And the number one thing I think for a lot of mothers is their kids, right? So you're doing better for your kids for their future.
Yeah, that's so important. And in June we're having a conference. We called it, the theme is Discover the Magic, and that comes from this conversation we're having about involving your village, your tribe. Really, I believe that's where the magic comes from. Is where you find that place in the center of your world, of your family, where you are all kind of in sync together, and that's what empowers me. It gives me the confidence to go out and to know that I can do this, because I have that. I'm centered. You know what I mean? I know my family loves me. I know they stand with me. I know what my faith is. I know what I believe. So those things create a center for me. So that is so important. Once you figure out what these things are, your core values, the important things, it will create a certain center for you, and amazing things begin to happen. And that's why I call it discover the magic, is discovering that place in your life when you are in control of that car that you're driving, which is your life, instead of just going for a ride as a passenger.
That's right. So what about this retreat that you're having in 2022? What month is it? Where is it? When is it? Give us some
So the
information on that.
2022 retreat is in June, June 9th through the 12th, 9, 10, 11, 12. I'm saying it right. And it's going to be in Orlando, Florida, which I'm very excited about. The theme is Discover the Magic, as I was talking about earlier. And the way we do our retreats, we have lectures from 9 to 1, and then there's nothing else to do in terms of structured activity for the rest of the day, because we want to create the atmosphere where you can learn and relax at the same time. We don't want you to need a vacation after the conference. We want you to come from the conference refreshed and ready to go. So this year, what we want to do is invite everyone to bring their work family, because the people you work with, they're your family too. Because you spend 8 hours of the day with them, sometimes more time than you spend with your actual family. You end up spending with the people you work with, depending on how much time you work at the office. So bring your work family so you can kind of learn the same things together. Bring your home family, because we're going to do a personal finance, a personal financial freedom course for couples in that
Huge.
retreat. So we're asking for the ladies, bring your spouses, bring your partners with you, so we can do that together, because we have to build the wealth, we have to build all of that together. We can't do it alone. If you have a partner, then everybody got to work, you got to step together, or you're not going to go that far. So I'm really excited about that, about doing this financial freedom workshop. My husband is a financial coach, That's what he does on his side. So he's going to be doing that along with me. We're going to be doing it together and talking about how do you set yourself up as a couple, as a unit for success. You have a practice, maybe you're not an OD, maybe your spouse is the OD, but how do you do that together? What is that world like for your wife? A lot of spouses don't know what we go through as ODs. They have no clue. So that's kind of what we're looking to do, is kind of bridge that gap, because my husband is not an optometrist. So he understands the world of someone who's married to a woman OD, or someone like me who's kind of crazy everywhere. So he kind of get that. And he can offer support to your husband. So it's like, I have no idea what's going on with her. But to kind of bridge that gap to where we as spouses can meet together and help grow our businesses, our successes, whatever it is we want to do. So
I'll tell you, my husband does know what's going on, because he may talk about it, and he just he does know what's going on. But the other thing too is, I think a lot of couples don't talk about money, and something crazy, like some don't know what their spouses make. I mean,
yeah,
stuff like that. And I make it a point in our house with our family and our kids to say, we went to work. This is a business. Some days are better than others, and to know the value of a dollar. And we talk about money, and
yeah,
we kind of say, okay, this is what we do. This is how we work. This is loans, rent, mortgage, whatever. And I think that's super important. I think that's great to bring about, because this age, finances are a big issue for a lot of doctors. And a lot of spouses really don't know all the stuff that's going on. And sometimes it is a little bit of support, and sometimes kind of, using them as a crutch to say, can you go do this for me at the office? I know. I think the phone line's down. I just can't look at it. I'm so tired. I had this patient today. Stuff like that. But I think it's a huge, when you take on a business, it's a family thing. And
yes,
I think finances is huge too, and they know. And a lot of women are primary breadwinners.
yes,
And I think that's a huge thing that should be,
yes,
I'm sure you're going to talk about that at the conference, because, and how do you do that, and how do you work together? Because it is one goal for the family or team.
yeah.
And I think that's going to be valuable information at the conference.
Yeah, absolutely. Because what you said, a lot of the women are the primary breadwinners, or maybe their income is, maybe they bring in the bigger income to the family, and that kind of is a different dynamic than what society have been used to for a while. So there are a lot of underlying issues that different parties in the relationship may go through in the subconscious arena that they don't really talk about, and that creates issues where they just avoid this thing altogether. And it's an important thing to address. It's an important thing to deal with, because it is part of the success of the family as a whole. And that's why I go back to, what are your core values? Once you identify that, our core values, basically we call it the 5 F's, right? The Justin core values. We have faith, and then family and friends we put in one category. We have finance, and then we have fitness and fun. These are the 5 core values that we have. We made it really simple, so it's easy to teach our kids. And what we realize is our kids learn so much more by observing than just by what we say. If we want our kids to be really good and make good financial decisions and understand money, we have to involve them in the actual decisions that we're currently making. So we have monthly financial meetings with our kids, where we go through a financial statement. We go to our profit and loss statement. We go to our balance sheet. We go through our cash flow. I want my sons to grow up and not to go through what I went through and kind of have to sort it out and hit my head everywhere, be in terrible debt, just don't know how to get off, and just feeling stressed out, overwhelmed all the time because of money. So I really want them to learn that. And for them to learn that, I can't just teach it to them only. I got to do it with them. So it's important that both spouses are in line, are in sync. Otherwise, your kids will kind of get lost in the middle.
That's right, because you're setting them up for success for the future. And your kids are much older than mine, but mine are younger. Mine are 8 and 10. And I started this new thing to say, hey, you're going to get an allowance. And they were like, great, we're going to get an allowance. And they're like, what do we have to do? Do we have to clean? I said, no, you have to do that anyways. That's part of the family thing. I said, but we're gonna find some financial books. I said, you have to read them. Every book that you read and you understand, like kid books, I said, I'll give you $1. And then, that's where them observing me gets me in trouble. They're like, we're not getting $1. We want to negotiate with you, and so sometimes it can backfire for them to think,
That's funny.
But that way they learn, they know what it is and how to manage it, where it comes from. So I think that's important too. I mean, so finance is huge. And I think just that retreat on itself is important. But be able to teach your kids, because I mean, if you're scared about, it's a cycle, it's a continuous cycle, and wealth is built over years. It's not, and over family. And I think for me, I think that's one of the things they say, well, you're working a lot. I would like to have that where I feel like my kids are okay, and that way I can retire properly too. So so that's important to me. If doctors want to get involved with Optometry Divas, how can they get involved?
You have to go to optometrydivas.com/join, and that will give you all the information and how you can get involved. We made it really easy for any woman OD to get involved if they want to get involved. Right now, we are developing chapters in different cities. We have about 14 cities that we are hosting local events. So we do 4 local events through our local chapters. However, if you're not in a city where we are hosting an event or don't have a chapter, we are launching the virtual chapter this year to target and offer support to people who don't have one of those in their local community. So go to optometrydivas.com/join, or you can just go to optometrydivas.com and click on the join button, and you'll get a lot of information of how you can get involved, what you can do. We want you to believe that whatever it is you want to accomplish in your life, it is within you to do. It's not really that hard. Rather, I should say it's not complicated, right? It's not complicated. It's simple, but it is hard work. It's not complicated, but whatever it is you want, you have the power to do it. And that is kind of my motto. The way I live my life is this one sentence that says, I have the power to change my life. You remember I talked about that when
you moved me at the Women in Optometry Summit. You moved me. I was like, she is so damn right. I was like, I used to think like, why not me is my phrase. Like, why not me? The other person, why not me? But you have the power. You are the one to motivate yourself to do it. And and I think that was a very powerful message. You really got the whole crowd involved. You have a way to inspire people.
Thank you. That means a lot for me. But that is the mission. That's what we want you to do. We do not do any work for you. We empower you to do the work for yourself, because it's amazing what you're capable of if you can start to believe it within yourself. You guys, whoever is listening, I promise you, you are an amazing person with gifts and abilities. You have an OD degree. That makes you a badass, just that by itself. So I want you to just pat yourself in the back and know, look in the mirror. You help people see every single day. That makes you a superhero in my book. So you have the power to change your life. I hope to see you in our upcoming retreat in June 9th to the 12th. Visit optometrydivas.com and let me know that you watched this live with Maria. I'd be so excited to hear about it.
Thank you so much, Dr. Justin, for joining us. Anyone that wants to go to Optometry Divas, I'll post the link too, and we'll be promoting the event for the retreat, and hopefully now trying to get this new virtual thing we just found out. I'm happy to promote that as well, and promote the success of female ODs in optometry, and as have you been doing since 2015.
Yes. And Maria, I really appreciate you bringing me on and what you do every day, just having that collaborative spirit. That is so amazing. I really admire that from you. Thank you. Thank you for doing that.
Thank you. Bye-bye, everybody.
Bye.